What I really, like about you as a personality is that you've always been very open to your responsibility as someone with influence. And whenever it comes to, regardless of if it's interviews or, your attention to detail as a musician and so on. And what I really like is actually one of your books where you're actually giving advice to young musicians and stuff like that,
Right.
which I think is actually one of the very first few books of this sort that has been released,
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Making music your business.
Absolutely,
the guy for young
yeah.
musicians. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, look, because I was reading a bunch of other books at that time. I was newly sober. I was probably in 3-4 years clean, so my mind was clear. I was open to all kinds. I was like, oh my God, there's all this stuff I can do, right? When you're not sort of lost in a bottle or doing that lifestyle. So I was just awakened, and I was in my late 20s. My career was really rocking. And I thought about it. I go, man, because so many of our fans in this genre are also musicians, right? Maybe not professionally, maybe not even semi-professionally, but they just like to play it. They like music. They just want to learn some of our songs, and it's fun for them, So I thought, man, if Gene Simmons or Angus Young or Geddy Lee or my heroes had ever written a book that says, "Hey, come here, kid, this is what this is all about."
Let me tell you something.
I kind of just because there's no free lunches in life, and there's no fast track. How do you get 20 miles in? You got to walk 20 miles in, and 20 miles in is 20 miles out, So it's none of this stuff is an overnight success, as much as we all want it to happen. And, but it just isn't, and when you finally arrive, I remember on Rust in Peace tour, my friend Greg, who I grew up with, and we moved to LA together, and he was one of the other co-founders of Megadeth. He goes, dude, you made it, man, you made it. And all I'm thinking is like, man, I'm still climbing out of debt. Like, my guitar tech's making more money than me and Dave were making. And I was living on a $20 per diem on the road.
Yeah.
And, the perception was huge, and it was growing, and it was getting bigger. But in my mind, have you made it yet? Did I play some big places? Yeah. Did we sell records? Yeah. But, in my opinion, I've never been this feeling going, yeah, I've made it. Thank God that's done. It's never like that. And I watch interviews with coaches, on professional sports. And even when they win, they'll interview them and say, oh, what a great win today. And usually most of those coaches, but we got to tighten up our defense. And, we still got to improve this, because those guys are never satisfied with just the win. It's just, it's a pursuit. And the win, you should be happy about it. It's something to be happy about, but it's sort of this constant yearning. But it's like, I know, but if we can just get through there, it would be better. And but we can always improve, and that's what we talk about even every night with Kings of Thrash and with Dieth too. Is hey, let's tweak this little thing here. Let's make that a little better. Hey, let's work on that tomorrow. Sound check. Every day again, improve 1%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some days you improve. I don't know. The other day we improved like 50%. Like we put some new microphones up, and suddenly there's a sonic change, and we were so happy. So sometimes things fall out of the sky that are just so random, and I think that's the other part of it too, is being open for the things to come your way. I always say, if I'm chasing it, that's self-will. That's me driven by my own will. But when the phone rings or an email shows up, said, hey, David, you want to be part of this? Or, hey, can you, we'd love to have you be part of that. To me, that's the divine universe. That's the creator, the creator with the big C, right? And I'm the created with the small c, right? Yeah. And he creates through us. That's what he does. He utilizes us to create, just like you do here with your interviews. Yeah. And, so to me, that's kind of the thing is check in with the boss every day. I think that's however you perceive the boss, check in with the boss. Lead me where you need me. That's kind of the deal, I think.
That's a great point. And you've touched on something that I would be very curious to hear your stance on. Obviously, when it comes to very driven people like yourself, and you've mentioned that you're always looking past your achievement and you're looking for improvement and so on. But do you manage, even in those moments, to actually appreciate what you achieve and to not let your continuous drive for success to
I mean, look,
burden it.
we're in Sofia, Bulgaria. The first time here, we played the Big Four, the biggest stadium in town.
Yeah.
Packed, huge, DVD, was
Live
played
cinema.
in theaters around the world. Like
Yeah.
the big kid get any bigger. It was the top of the heap, right?
Yeah.
That was my first time here. Second time, Megadeth, we played some smaller auditorium. And, you know, it was what it was, right? Just another stop on the tour, right? Then 2020, my last show I actually played with Megadeth was here in Sofia when we came here with Five Finger Death Punch. And you could tell very much that was our audience. You
Yeah.
could tell.
Yeah.
That was, there's some nights we played other cities, you're like, wow, this is definitely a Five Finger Death Punch audience, you know, and that's cool. The new guys coming up, you know, claiming their turf. But here, for sure, it was definitely very much a Megadeth audience. And so in a cool way, it's kind of cool that if that is my last show ever with Megadeth, it was here, you know, it was here with the people of Sofia. And, you know, now I'm here and playing in a, you know, smaller rock and roll nightclub. But this gig is just as important to me as the biggest ones I ever played here because, you know, there's a saying in jazz, you're only as good as your last gig, right? And that doesn't just mean your last show. It means the last person you played with, the last band you were with, all that kind of stuff. So every gig you play is as important as the last one. This one here tonight for a few hundred people is every bit as important as that one we played for 50, 60,000 people with Metallica, you know? Because you're really leaving it all on the stage, you know, and this is a different mission. You know, we're digging deep into the catalog, playing songs that are such fan favorites, and you know they're part of my fabric, you know, part of who I am, you know, help create those tunes, and same with Jeff Young, and so it's important that this is the message tonight, right? That, hey, we didn't forget about you. We didn't forget about the songs. We didn't forget about what made us. We're back in the trenches where it all started. And you know, and just enjoying all of it, you know, waking up today, we're driving through some corn and bean fields or something. It looked like Minnesota where I grew up. I go, where the hell are we? I had to do a pin drop on my map and my phone and go, where am I? Oh, there we are. An hour outside of Bulgaria or Sofia, you know? So, you know, to me, it is about the journey, you know, and I have to remind myself of that. And as the leader, I remind the troops about that too. It's like, hey, you know, don't play music for money. If you just go play music because you enjoy it, money will come, you know, and the enrichment. I mean, our singer Chaz is out seeing your cathedrals. He's going, oh my God, I can't believe this place, you know. And so it tickles me to see these guys have the experience that I've gotten to have, you know, kind of like a proud papa, you know, taking the next generation out, and to experience this stuff, you know, and it's all because of we play some songs, you know, and there's all these people outside who can't wait to see those songs. That's why we're here. We're not here for us. We're here for them.
Was it difficult for you to achieve this sort of objective assessment on your achievement and what you're doing with your career? Or...
No, I think I've always had it. It's always
amazing.
been like that. Yeah, it's always been like that. I mean, look, when I was a kid, I just wanted to be Kiss. You know, I mean, like, how do they do it? You know, and I guess to some degree, I still do. You know, how do they do that? You know, I used to see Kiss whenever they would come through, and I'd be like, it's like watching a plane take off. It's like, you know, I understand it's, you know, it's lift, thrust, drag, right? Those are the three, you know, fundamental components of a plane. But I still look at it and go, how the hell does that thing get off the ground? You know what I mean? And it's just this wonder. And I'm kind of the same way when I go to see Rammstein, you know, or see Kiss especially, you know, because they were my heroes. And I know how it works. I know it's lift, thrust, drag. I know the elements of what it is. But to watch them do it, I'm like, God dang it, man. It's like...
It's the magic.
There's magic there of how they do it, you know? And that's always what I look for, whether it's some guy singing his song on the sidewalk, or if it's Rammstein or Metallica with the biggest productions. It's like, is there magic there? Is it heartfelt? Do they mean it? And do they mean it together? You know, because it's easy in a band if you've been together a long time. Personalities can drift, lifestyles drift, but hopefully when we get back on that stage, there's still this common bond where you look at each other and go, fuck yeah, we're still here doing it, you know?
Nice. So would you say you're still passionate about music as a fan even? Or is it difficult?
and I like hearing new stuff, you know. It's funny, I did my Grammy vote for the nominations, and there's there's these huge lists, you know, to narrow it down to like the 5 or 6 that are actually going to be nominated that just got announced yesterday. And that's an opportunity for me to go, oh my God, I didn't know I did a new record. Oh wow, I got to do some homework. I need to listen to this new thing. But, you know, I mean, look, I always love new things that are coming out. I mean, look, it's funny. I was not a big Linkin Park fan. It just was not my song. It wasn't my. I get that people got it.
Yeah.
It wasn't my song. And then, I know Emily a bit because we did a Shiprock cruise together, and we were the sort of the guests, famous people on there. And I know of her band Dead Sarah, of course. But now to hear her in Linkin Park, I'm like fully a fan. I'm blown away.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like going, what a great thing. And Mike Shinoda, is that his name? Yeah. So I did not know really much about him. And now hearing him do interviews, here's a man with some real depth experience. He's really a creative guy. He's had to captain that ship of that band, through a lot of stuff, stuff that unthinkable stuff that he's had to go through. And yet, the joy you see him have now that it's landed on the other side, and to have a reset. And I'm just happy for people like that when they get a reset. Even with Alice in Chains, after everything they went through. And then when they came out, they were opening for Velvet Revolver, many years back, and they were out with their new singer, with William. And just to see it going, oh my God, these guys are getting a second chance. Yeah. And so I'm always happy. KK's Priest.
Yes.
Me with going back to Megadeth, to the Pantera guys. It's like just seeing people have this second chance at something that brought so much joy to so many people, and hopefully there's always a newfound appreciation from us that get to have these experiences. We sort of get a mulligan, as they call it, a second chance, and hopefully we appreciate it as much, hopefully maybe even more than we did the first time around.